TV. Says I can reduce my debt by 50%. I call, they told me to stop paying my bills, stop talking to my creditors. They'd take care of everything.
I gave them thousands, but most of it went to their fees.
Getting out of debt is neither quick nor easy. There are those who will tell you anything to win your trust.
I'm more in debt now because the fees and interest in my cards kept piling up.
Talk to your creditors directly, or to find a nonprofit agency near you, visit debtadvice.org. This has been a public service message.
Welcome to Moe's!
Okay, hi, what are we doing today?
I need something that screams something fun. Nothing too on the face, nothing too off the face, but also totally hot.
So I have the perfect thing. It's the Moe's food mullet. You're totally business in the front, but tailgate in the back. It's a fat party. People are having fun. You know, snap. All your friends are going to be like, whoa, awesome setup. Everyone else is going to be all jelly, okay?
Just like a killer mullet, Moe's Catering will turn the back of your ride into a tailgate party that's sure to turn some heads. Just order ahead and pick it up on your way.
Moe's Southwest Grill, now open in Pace on Highway 90 next to Publix grocery store.
Hi, I'm Matt Kenseth. You don't have to be a race car driver to know that life can be full of drama. Some of it you can't control, like mechanical issues, high winds, and rain delays. But there's some drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org.
You just need to take that first step and find free classes near you and leave the drama for the racetrack.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ed Council.
Farm.
We welcome you back, and glad you're here on this Monday afternoon. David is in South Carolina. Hello, David.
Hey, Paul.
Afternoon.
I am a huge Clemson fan in Gamecock country here, and I got to tell you, I am just, what do you have to do to get credit for beating Alabama? I mean,
are you sure they won? You sure Clemson won that game?
When we lose to them, they tell us it's because we didn't play a hard enough schedule, so we couldn't get prepared for Alabama. They just played such a hard schedule, they were ready for us. And then when we beat them, they say, oh, Lord, well, y'all didn't play a hard enough schedule, so you're just not tired like we are. I just don't understand. What's it take to get credit to beat Alabama?
You got to beat them worse than 28 points. Come on, that was
apparently so. I mean, good Lord, they were the greatest team in the history of college football coming into the game this year.
Yeah,
their coaches were not questioned until Alabama beat them, and then all of a sudden, it's like we just took on a paper tiger.
Didn't you hear Nick Saban? They had some distractions on that staff.
It was terrible, wasn't it?
I will tell you, not that I'm important, but I don't officially recognize Clemson as the national champion.
Apparently not. You and I guess Stugatz making up your own list these days, huh?
Alabama's my champion.
You know, every once in a while, a game's on the field, not talked about forever and ever and ever. But yeah, no, I mean, I get those excuses. No matter where I go, it's either Alabama played such a strong schedule that we can't compete.
And by the way,
you
guys didn't beat South Carolina either because Bentley had such a big game. I'm going to give that game to South Carolina.
He was amazing. I got to tell you what, our defense had no breakdowns that game whatsoever. It was amazing. So, but appreciate your time, Paul. Have a great night.
Thank you. That might be the first Clemson fan I've enjoyed talking to since January. The guy was funny, wasn't obnoxious, wasn't delusional. That was pretty cool.
He was jovial.
Yeah, I mean, what's going on? They give out some happy juice with a happy meal that Trump gave all the Clemson players. Anyway, we're out of time. More to come. Final hour right ahead.
Driving is freedom. The freedom to keep moving, to control your destiny, and to choose your path. And now, that freedom fits in the palm of your hand. It's called Ford Pass, the only app that gives you roadside assistance, Ford Pass rewards, and now when you buy or lease a new Ford, earn points you can use toward flexible complimentary maintenance that gives you, well, more freedom. Ford Pass, built to keep you moving, built Ford proud. Visit your participating Ford dealership to find out about getting flexible complimentary maintenance when you buy or lease a new Ford and sign up for rewards.
Roadside assistance is included for certain Ford owners and available to everyone for a per-service fee. Ford reserves the right to change program details without obligations. Visit your participating dealer or FordPassRewards.com for program rules and restrictions. Ford Pass, compatible with select smartphone platforms, is available via a download.
Today, my new dad and I shot off a rocket in the park.
Today, my new son and I failed to shoot off a rocket.
He knew exactly what to do.
I had no clue what I was doing.
We set up the rocket.
Hit ignition.
And then?
And then nothing. Sometimes I laugh when I'm frustrated.
Then out of nowhere, the rocket launched into the air.
The rocket did get into the air.
I've never seen anything fly so high.
And then crashed into a kite.
Look out! Look out!
And then the pond.
I'll never forget that day.
I'll never forget that day, even if I tried.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Hey, everyone. Let's all stop what we're doing right now and take a moment. That felt good, huh? Just like that, we had a nice, special sort of moment together. Of course, they don't all need to be quiet moments to be special. They could be loud moments, goofy moments, sporty moments, dorky moments. Moments where we talk or walk or just hang out. It doesn't really matter. They all count. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. Sounds like somebody agrees. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Today, call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Sports is live and local every Saturday from 11 to 1.
Kawhi, him and his free agency, or him just sitting around waiting to sign with the team, had a lot to do with more than just the Lakers. There were other teams that were tied into this trade as well to determine their next moves. And for the Lakers, they still haven't finalized the Anthony Davis deal.
Sports Call with Jordan Glass and Davis Allen on your radio, on Facebook, and YouTube.
Southern California basketball is going to be where everybody's paying attention to this upcoming season.
At ESPN Pensacola 945.
It's Chad Brillante. This past Saturday at Grizzly Axes was a blast. I did not win the hanging challenge, but I did beat JC's time. Heyo! Grizzly Axes is an exhilarating team-building experience. Corporate events, bachelorette parties, heck, even hanging out with your friends after work, enjoying some cold beer and throwing axes. Grizzly Axes, Pensacola's go-to location for stress-releasing fun. Reserve your zone right now at grizzlyaxe.com. Maybe win the $100 hanging challenge. Be a grown axe man at Grizzly Axes on Davis Highway.
Hear ye, hear ye. I bringeth thee a message from... a message from the king and his new trumpeter, Stephen. The king wishes me to convey his favor to thine team and thine tailgate. Not yet. He invites thee to let the Bud Light flow forth. And he also wishes me to tell thee that he toasts thee. Waiteth until the end, Stephen! With game day's favorite light lager and the slogan of his kingdom... Oh, dilly dilly.
Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Pensacola's hometown all-sports station and home of the Blue Wahoos, ESPN Pensacola 945. Catch all the Wahoos games home and away all season, plus all the latest Wahoos news from Chad Brillante on the Sports Drive, 5 till game time weeknights. And hey, if your business would like to partner with us as an advertiser or with a local sports promotion, then give us a call at 850-262-6000 or shoot us an email from the advertise page on ESPNpensacola.com.
Those up the middle. At the 40. Derek Brooks 30. Brooks to the 29. 20. Derek Brooks all the way. Touchdown Tampa Bay. Derek Brooks. The dagger's in.
we're going to win the Super Bowl. Noah Watson is wearing a green jacket, and this time his name is Bubba.
Pitch on the way. Russell drives one in the air. Deep left center. That's back near the wall. It's got a chance. Grand slam. Grand slam, Addison Russell.
The new WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr.
And Richardson breaks free on the sideline. End zone. How about that? Bama scores on a 34-yard touchdown run by the Doak Walker Award winner, Trent Richardson, who broke a lot of Emmitt Smith's records back in Pensacola, Florida.
And these them Louisiana, Pensacola guys, they looking crazy and all that.
Morris, blocked by the tight end Paul. That opens up the door. Breaking the Cambridge tackle. To the pylon. Touchdown.
Really nice effort there by Alfred Morris, extending that ball over the goal line.
Near side Baldwin's had a big game. Doug Baldwin's got a first down. And Doug Baldwin, 93 yards, now has back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons.
Reggie Emmons, and he's going to get an ovation. Guy from Pensacola, Florida.
And welcome to the Sports Drive right here on ESPN Pensacola 945 and on Blab TV. I am Chad Brilliante. Glad to be with you here as always as we broadcast live, having some fun here with you on this Monday. A lot to get to on today's show. We're going to go over balls being thrown over the wall, different ways to get tossed out of a game to, well, Shark Week, the return of the MAC, as should be some fun getting ready. Are you as we are joined by Jordan Glass, co-host here on the Sports Drive, having some fun. Jordan, are you now I know you're a Dolphin fan. You're a Gator fan.
Yep. Yeah.
Are you a Shark Week fan?
I am a Shark Week fan, and I think it's entertaining to watch, and it's more entertaining to see all the memes and jokes that I've seen about Jim McElwain so far today.
It's a lot of fun. Look, and it's more fun that now he's been shipped out.
Absolutely,
if he was like a winning, a guy that was going 12-0, like you stay off. Like the Nick Saban comments, you want to make them, but you're like, hey, you know what? Everybody wants to be him, though. You know,
I think for Jim McElwain, too, the whole death threat thing that happened the week before the Georgia game, which is really what led to him getting fired.
Mm-hmm.
It was the performance of the team, but also the fact that when you start lying about getting death threats and your players getting death threats, university's got to go, yeah, we're going to part ways with you because that's ridiculous.
Charles Bronson can change that if you want.
I think that is what helped a lot of people now just be able to joke about it, because now Jim McElwain is seen as a complete joke because there was no evidence of death threats whatsoever. And this is a guy that said there was death threats, turned over his personal computer, his personal cell phone where the death threats were supposed to be, and the investigators that looked into the stuff said, we don't see anything here. So not even on Twitter. And Twitter, that's surprising.
You know, but going back to anything in life, when people start to really get offended or try to defend themselves, it's usually when there's some kind of guilt. Now, in this case, there wasn't. That was not him on the Shark. But at the same time, him or the owner of Jimmy John's. But they look very similar. It was just another chunky guy that looked like a sort of the guy at a research center for otters. He does, doesn't he look like the guy in like a suit? Yeah. A zoologist is his title, but he works with otters and everybody claps. Let's clap for Jimmy the Otter, everybody. Like I can see him with the little side mic piece. I could see him doing that. But when it comes down to McElwain, he really got angry about it, and it was just not a good look, and it was downhill from there. So Alabama and Wisconsin announcing a big game coming up here right around the corner in 5 years. But September 2024, Wisconsin and the Alabama Crimson Tide will begin their home-and-home series. Now, we've talked about this with Gene Stallings. We've had conversations before. Jordan, I like the home-and-home series more than the neutral site game. Now, as a fan of neither of the teams, I'm okay with just having a game at a neutral site. It's going to bring in more revenue for that city. It's a fun place to travel. But overall, for the good of college football, it is better to have home-and-home games where you're giving that fan base a because honestly, to tell you the truth, this game is the perfect example of a great home and home.
Right.
You've got the SEC, Roll Tide, big boys, and you got your country fred guys coming in there from Wisconsin that like to jump around in Madison. Both have a unique venue. Both have a venue that they feel that they can beat the other one. And both also have a team that has great home field advantage being in their neck of the woods. So this is very rare where we see an SEC team, and clearly right now with this all being said, and Wisconsin would admit it, we have a lot of good people from Wisconsin. Quinn Studer, owner of the Blue Wahoos from Wisconsin. A lot of big fans, a lot of good Badger fans. Bucky and I sat on the sidelines and hung out, couldn't hear him, it was a mascot. But at the same time, I'm telling you, you look at this game, Wisconsin fans understand right now, and probably in 2024, unless Sabinator's out, which, look, I mean, it's a little ways away. Year to year, a couple more Clemson losses, and who knows. But here's the deal with it. In 2024, you still expect Alabama to be better than Wisconsin. And it's not at the same level. However, we get to see one of the elites and one of the big dogs battling in their own home ground, which is so rare for a Big Ten versus SEC matchup.
Yeah.
Look, the SEC and Big Ten, whether anybody across the country wants to admit it, have been the two top conferences. The ACC a couple years back had an incredible run. Clemson right now is the champion, and they still have that on everyone. The Pac-12 has been down, and the Big 12 has been consistent with teams, but ever since Baylor and a couple other teams like Oklahoma State sort of fell off from that top 15 pack, they haven't been the same. Oklahoma's carried the load. Texas is getting better. But for a while, you had teams like Baylor, you had teams like TCU, you had teams like Oklahoma State that were all borderline top 15, top 10 teams, which made the Big 12 that much better. Now they're not. You look at the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Florida Gators, or you look at Michigan versus a team like Georgia, or you look at a game like Penn State versus a team like an LSU.
Right.
Imagine all of these teams I just mentioned if they had home and homes, and how much more exciting it would be to know that even if you're watching that game, like Michigan fans have to come in LSU, which would not be fun, or Georgia fans had to go to Penn State, which would not be fun. No matter what, all of those games, the next year you get to reverse it and get that payback if you do lose in a close one. This is what, to me, college football is all about as a fan, is that home field advantage is that much more meaningful. Neutral site games, you party, you lose early. Teams can lose at the beginning of the season in the SEC. Look, Auburn knows they can lose that game to Oregon. They could come back and they could win out. And guess what? They're going to go to the college football playoff.
Right, yeah,
Here's my guarantee. Even if Auburn lost 50-0 to Oregon, if they run the table where they beat Georgia, where they beat Alabama, where they beat LSU, where they beat Texas A&M, they win the SEC title, and they go 11-1, then 12-1, boom, they're in. Guaranteed. I'm telling you that right now. So this is the type of game where even if they lost early, still would have a shot, but it would be that much more fun to get that bragging rights, cold weather game, a game where it's warm down in the South, and man, this is awesome. And I know it's 5 years away, but I'm loving seeing more of this. If we can get more of these games across the board, this is what college football is all about. I'd love the home and home against the Big Ten and the SEC, and I hope we get more of these to come.
No, I agree. I think that this is a great thing for college football to have the home and home series, is because, you know, it's aside from it just being a great type of atmosphere at a college stadium, it's also the small businesses that are going to be in Madison, Wisconsin, and Tuscaloosa. Those are going to be the businesses. Notice I got that Kobe gene. I didn't flinch. Yeah. Those are going to be the small businesses that are the mom and pop businesses that are locally owned. Mm-hmm. Those are going to be the ones that benefit. When you go to Dallas, when you go to Orlando, those guys don't benefit. You know, they lose a game. So Miami and Florida, you look at them this year starting out in Orlando, the hometown organizations and the hometown companies are actually losing a game that usually would build some revenue for them. And I think a lot of people don't talk about that. A lot of people don't think about that. But that's definitely a factor in it. But, yeah, just to see a case in point, let's use Florida and Penn State. A Florida and Penn State home-and-home series. Let's say Florida had to go to Penn State in October, late October, early November. To see Florida play in the snow, that would just be incredible.
It would be cool. That's what I'm saying. It's like because And you can weigh in on this, 850-972-1945. We're going to talk to Brent Baird of Lindy Sports tomorrow on the show. We're going to talk to Bill Bender, who lives up in Ohio, of the Sporting News. Bill and I have been friends, and he does a great job of covering it across the board as really a neutral kind of guy. But I'm telling you what, if you look right now at across the board, some of the things that are going on with both of the schools, that would be so cool. And I know it's Wisconsin versus Alabama right now, but it would be so much better to be able to see an opportunity for both of these schools getting a chance to see this on a regular basis for other schools to come. Because it is something that Barry Alvarez and Nick Saban go back. Remember, they have roots to when Barry Alvarez coached at Wisconsin and Nick Saban was at Michigan State. So these guys know each other. Alvarez now the athletic director and longtime coach of Wisconsin. But I hope we have plenty more to come and go down this path going forward. 850-972-1945 is the number. Well, this was an old school move from Freddie Kitchens. We talked to his former coach Nick Saban when he played at Alabama. He was quarterback back in the day in the late 80s. Freddie Kitchens, this was like an old high school rule, Jordan. He went ahead and decided two of the people today during training camp, Chad Thomas and Pharaoh Brown, were out there busting each other's chops. Yep. Going back and forth. Told everybody get on the line and let's run. Made the entire team do some sprints, and that is the best way, a little humble pie. Because you think about those big dads up on that line that are already sweating right now because it's too hot as we're in the late months.
Especially in
into
full
July.
pads.
Oh, yeah. And they get out there, and now they have to do a couple extra sprints.
And you know what else you
Not
do?
too happy.
An added measure to that, if you really want to get the message across, you tell one of your assistant coaches out there or one of your athletic trainers, go inside the training facility, go to the cooler, pull 2 cold Gatorades out, bring them to me. You give those 2 players cold Gatorades, make them stand on the 50-yard line, and their teammates have to run by them doing sprints. Really gets the message across that little extra bit. Yeah.
What if go a step further? Send me up to the booth if I got in trouble with a bushwhacker and I just watched them run all day. No, actually, to me, I get the point.
Yeah.
And I actually like the rule because at that level, you should have enough respect for your teammates.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, for me, I'm just like, oh, all right, cool, more rank. I'm used to doing it anyway. I was used to the troublemaker. Having it happen. Looking at what's going on, top NFL jersey sale. You want to take a, OJ, at what top NFL jersey sale?
I would probably say it has to be Tom Brady.
It is Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Way to go right there.
Yeah.
Number 4 on the list, you probably will not get.
Dak Prescott.
We're going down a house of randomness
Okay,
here,
yeah.
just going to
I'm
number
just
4
taking a
just
shot
out of
in the
nowhere.
dark.
I know, that was not. Sam Darnold.
Okay.
Top 5. It goes Tom Brady, Odell Beckham. You can see that with the new Browns.
Well, you got all those Giants fans that are converting to being Jets fans.
That's right. That's right. That's a good point, yeah.
Embarrassed a lot or
nobody's
embarrassed
buying
just a
Daniel
little.
Jones jerseys right now. They're not. So, well, yeah, I'm a little surprised that Barkley. I mean, he's going to be the few. He
Saquon,
should be.
yeah.
Are they just a little afraid he's going to have enough of it?
Well,
and
I don't know.
leave?
Saquon, I believe Saquon led in rookie jersey sales last year.
Yeah.
So I think people already got the jerseys, and that's why he's probably not selling anymore.
Well, I'm not buying on Sam Darnold being this guy to go. I mean, like,
I think a lot of people are just kind of buying in Adam Gase being the new head coach there.
Yeah.
They're saying, oh, he
There you
might
go.
actually breathe some new life
Yep,
into the team.
all
but-
those 6 and 10 years
Yeah,
at Miami.
I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, Odell Beckham was number 2, Khalil Mack number 3, and Baker Mayfield. Sam Darnold number 4 and Baker Mayfield number 5. Out of that list right there, is there one that you would, if you could purchase, obviously besides the golden jersey of Tom Brady's?
Probably Baker Mayfield. I would think Baker Mayfield. He's got the biggest upside off of that list. But yeah, look, I hate to say it as a Dolphin fan, a diehard Dolphin fan, I would purchase the Tom Brady jersey if given the opportunity, because that's going to be one day. That's going to be something. You keep that in a nice little case to where it's nice and pristine. Then when he's been in the Hall of Fame a few years and the price goes up on that on eBay, you just pop it on there and make a few extra bucks.
Where's the Kansas City fans going to get the Mahomes jersey? Like, I know KC's market size is not as big, but this guy's not getting some love right now.
Kansas City's so cold.
Get beat out by Sam Darnold?
I think people are more concerned about
that's
coats,
true.
Kansas City
Yeah.
coats, than they are jerseys.
It's a tough look to go with the – you have to go with the to plan in advance, the ones that you see those guys with those just huge oversized jackets, and then the jacket on top looking like one of the Oompa Loompas, and then they've got the jersey on top, because you have to go like XXX on that, knowing that you're going to wear that like on a bright sunny day. Like, Dad, have you lost a lot of weight? No, son, I'm just used to wearing this over 16 jackets at the time. But no, that's always you got a point there.
Meets a guy at a football game, thinks he's a little chunky. They get, go on a date normally and go out to dinner, and she sees him. She goes, "Oh, did you lose weight since I saw you last?" No, I just don't have the 5 coats on. Yeah, it's just
Tom Brady #1. That was the point there. Looking at some of the other things going on here. Worst campaign ever. Police officers right now in Arizona. A lot of funky things happen in Arizona. In Tempe, have decided to start they're going to start pulling people off to promote good driving. This is the worst campaign idea ever, and they're going to give them like a gift card. They said they're going to give them a gift card for a free drink and a hot dog at Circle K. Now, to me, I'd be furious if I got stopped over a soft drink and a hot dog at Circle K, which, remember, 79-cent refills with the cool ice. Like, I've seen a guy, I'm like, this cup must be from 1997. So he's been getting 79-cent free drinks for 25 years, and you're going to stop a guy so you can give him one of those cups that he already probably has, and he probably has some other stuff when you... And what about the guy that you do a humanitarian thing to pull him over kindly, and the guy's smoking a doobie in his car, and you're like, you son of a... Like, why did you pull me over? Well, I don't have a reason. So because of the law, if you get a lawyer, you got to keep this guy moving because you didn't have a reason to pull him over.
Right, yeah.
It's going to... This is the worst campaign I've ever seen in the history. Getting pulled over for doing the right things. Like, what about the guy today that passed me on North Davis Highway that ran the red light going 100? Or the guy that king of the lanes. You saw the shoreline truck. King of the lane, king of the road, clearly. Like, these guys don't get anything. But let's start this campaign. That is a campaign that will backfire real quick and maybe even literally. LeBron James out on the court. We're going to talk some more about this when we come back. Leonard Hanna's going to join us, a UFC and boxer who is getting ready for a big fight coming up here, and a Milton grad. And we're also going to talk with Brent Barrett coming up here. Blue Wahoos, all they've done is won 7 straight games. How about that? Right back in the mix, back to 18-18 in the second half of the season. We're going to send that one over as they'll be taking on the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. And we'll have to get Brent off a little early on this one because I know he has to get ready for those Jumbo Shrimp games right there. Get some cocktail sauce and enjoy his party. We're coming back for more right here on the Sports Drive.
Pensacola is loaded with famous athletes, and when it comes to seeing a chiropractor for their sports injuries, there is one team they trust, Doctors Edwin Roberts. A family tradition for 3 generations, Doctors Edwin Roberts Chiropractic, next to Legendary Fitness on Mobile Highway, has helped champion athletes like Emmett Smith and Trent Richardson. Doctors Roberts specialize in relieving auto accident pain to physicals for the student athlete. The best treatment for sports injuries is prevention. Call 912-4155 for a free consultation and change your life forever.
Ted here, dialing in from Denver.
Kenzie and the Chicago team dialing in.
Okay, let's get started.
Ted's in charge of this project. He's a total goober. And what's with the haircut?
Guys, can definitely hear you. Like, really good reception.
Conference call's no-brainer? The mute button. Barbasol's no-brainer. Finally making razors to go along with America's favorite shaving cream. Try Barbasol's Ultra 6 Plus razor with 6 ultra-thin blades for a close, comfortable shave.
Barbasol. Some might argue that the hamburger is the perfect food. Great for any occasion, you don't need utensils, and good almost any time of the day or night. And Denny's 100% beef burger lineup features bold flavors and fresh ingredients, like the spicy sriracha burger and the bourbon bacon burger, which are both perfectly delicious. Perhaps the Denny's burger is one of the world's most perfect foods. Stop by and decide for yourself. See you at Denny's. Price and participation may vary. Limited time only.
Slappy!
Dude, where have you been?
Dude, I've been a lot of places. Most of them with Zach. I've not been thriving. I've been missing it, kid. A lot of drinking in the day.
I don't drink that much anymore. I don't drink any less.
He still got it! Just so you know, when you get bald, sort of the wheels fall off the bus.
Speaking of your mom.
There's a reason they're not on the radio anymore. SVP and Russillo, the podcast. Listen and subscribe on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Every home run. There's a swing and a drive out to left. Pache at the track, at the wall. It is gone! Every strikeout. Here comes the pitch.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3.
Whether they're home or away, every minute of every Blue Wahoos game.
And the ball game is over with one of the greatest comebacks in the history of this Wahoos franchise.
This is the home of the Blue Wahoos, ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
Professional truck drivers, Schneider has more driving opportunities for more lifestyles. Personalize your career by choosing the freight type and driving style that work for you. Dozens of options available in over 50 dedicated accounts with consistent miles and predictable home time. Enjoy more career paths, steady weekly paychecks, and comprehensive benefits, including a 401k plan with a leading company match. Get a better driving job now and a brighter future at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
And welcome back. Sports Drive with you right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5 and on Blab TV. Having some fun with you on a Monday. Not as much fun as Trevor Bauer had, just throwing that ball over that wall yesterday. How about that? Just like that. Nothing like getting tossed in a different way right there. Terry Francona's face was the best, too. He was like, come on, bro. Like, seriously, you're going to do this? Like, you just made, like, $1 million for that start. You can, like, back. I always think of those guys that make that much money. Like, if you made $1 million Bryce Harper makes $66,000 in at bat. If I went down swinging on 3 strikes, I'd still be like throwing some confetti up in the air, just like making it rain. Like, come on, baby, or grab a mic. Joining us now, by the way, we're having some fun as Leonard Hanna and Matt Bonkowski joining us here. 2 Milton grads, by the way. Go Panthers, right there. We got the Panther jersey here representing. I'm not sure. This is from Jackson. This could be filthy. I don't know why I'm touching it right now, but it's hey, we got it right there, and it's nice to see that. You guys, I know with boxing, MMA, we've had a couple. Eric Baker's been in here. A couple of the guys, R.J. Summerlin, a lot of good guys, Baker, and we've been working hard with a lot of it to promote and help. We've seen a lot of athletes, a lot of guys throughout the years. I've watched guys like Dakota Merritt, guys back in the day like Dylan Kleckler come through and come through the scenes with Dean and Island fights and what Roy Jones has done with Square Ring Promotion. And, man, we got a great scene, obviously, with Roy Jones and what he's doing. Leonard, I know I talked to you last week at the 850 concert, but, man, we got some good fighters and a good opportunity for them to get involved with ESPN Pensacola.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I've been following Eric Baker and Roy Jones for a long time, and as a child. So, I got to finally meet Eric Baker at Roy Jones' last fight last year. He retired the last fight in February. So I got a chance to meet him and got to, network and stuff like that and get to meet him and stuff. And he's doing real good. He just had a fight last month, too, also, June 15th.
Yeah, he did. He kicked some butt in the ring out
Second
there.
round.
Oh, yeah. He's getting ready for Jumanji 2 out there, acting too. I mean, that's a fun cameo. I always see like he gets popped up with El Rico and Manager of the Year. He's doing these fights and it's like gets to play the bad guy in the movie.
I know Dwayne Johnson and his tequila.
Oh yeah,
he kills me with that.
Well, anything with tequila, you spark my interest real fast. But
right.
Next time you show up, I'm just saying. But
I hear you.
Matt, you grew up here. You talk about some of the athletes. We've had a chance to work with a lot of them. And I'll ask Leonard the same question. But who are some of the guys that you looked up to idolize growing up in this area? We get to work with a lot of them, do shows with Fred Robbins or Trent Richardson, a lot of these guys. We're getting ready for a bunch of NFL shows. A lot of them now that we're just playing, guys like Josh Sitton and Doug Baldwin are now retired and having a chance to come back home. Talk about some of the guys, because I know the Cortland Finnegans, and there's been many of them out there at Pace. Lawrence Tynes of the world. Bubba, obviously, and Bubba Watson stuff.
I mean, I played Bubba head-to-head for Tanglewood championship back in
nice.
the day. He was a little bit older than me, but we both held the club championship out there.
You look like a long drive champion. Doesn't he look like the guy in the long drive championship?
I'm not bad. I can hit the ball pretty far.
I was going to say, you look like the guy you go a couple extra sleeves up and just you don't mess with. You're like par 4, making sure they clear the green. You know that group you played with where like you're on a par 4 and the guy's still waiting to tee off and you're like, hey, is this guy better do it? And then all the pressure is on because you got like on a busy day, you got like 3 groups behind you and they're all now watching you because like you better drive this green if you ain't them. I used to do that and then just shank it to the woods. But Leonard, when it comes down to this area and getting ready, I know that you want to do some big things and connect a lot of the people in the community.
Oh yeah. If nobody in the world understands about kids that's in the court systems, and foster or adoption, man, there's a lot of people in the state of Florida and other communities that need some help. Giving kids a life. So, I'm a person that has, kids out the system and trying to give them an opportunity and a dream because, going in there and seeing them suffer and going through them things, it's kind of hard watching it. So I'm trying to network with some, y'all and some other organizations that want to work with me and try to put something together and get them a place, because I just graduated. Y'all can give me a hand clap. I just took my adoption classes and completed that.
Oh, congratulations!
You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome.
Yeah, so because I really want to try and make a change and give some kids a real good life, because I didn't have anything. My mom, we had cousins live, close from each other, so it's not like we was rich or anything like that. So we don't know what it's like to be fortunate enough or anything like that, get scholarships and stuff. So I'm trying to do, anything I can with anybody to work with me, and so we can get the community started and helping kids have something going on, like the flag footballs with the NFL. I think the NFL got them flag football.
Yeah, they're coming up
like
in a week. We just had Coach Dave Wilson on the show, and he's actually going to be joining us. Sorry for the little of the once in a while Area 51.
Definitely.
You got that right there. You heard that? Okay. But we just had Coach Dave Wilson on the show, and we're looking forward to be promoting a lot of the different events with flag football, Under the Lights, Under Armour, and what you brought up though is something that is so important to me. I've talked to Ray Palmer from Pensacola Sports, and one of the things we talked about is how badly that we need a sports complex, a real sports complex, not just, we have places you can go to Blue Wahoo Stadium, you can go to Ashton Brosnahan Park, you can go places, but one centered sports complex that you can have games, you can bring in AAU games, you can be a place, but at the same time, kids from everywhere feel comfortable, from all communities. And that's the thing. I work with so many people. What Fred Robbins is doing, and we're partnering to do an NFL show right now. And Fred works with Mr. Robbins Neighborhood, who brings inner city kids to give them an opportunity to play football, graduate, get opportunities. And what we're here is not. We can flip a switch right now.
Oh yeah.
And we could talk about the college football games, which we will coming up here. But at the same time, we also want to always be able to represent the community, to be able to know that everybody should feel comfortable having an opportunity, whether they're rich, poor, whether they've had an opportunity to play for organized sports or not, to get out there and have a shot. And I'm all about, look, if you're not good enough, you're not going to sit there and waste any. Look, there's no participation ribbons. We're gonna you're gonna get it up, and you're gonna make sure you play. But I'm just saying, get you right, raise you the right way. But at least give them an opportunity to try to compete.
Yeah, because It just looked up, like you were trying earlier about looking up to people. I looked up to War Jones, Tyson. I looked up to my cousin Elijah Williams, that played for Milton High School. With sets of records.
With my brother.
And Cortland, I played with him in high school. And so looking at them guys and seeing them being successful through those years, I didn't get the chance to get in the league in NFL. I played nose guard, believe it or not, at Milton High School. But I love fighting. My boy Matt, since I was little, hey, and my Uncle Lucky, shout out you, teaching me all those fundamentals. Bruce Lee, greatest fighter ever.
Oh yeah.
To learn anything, anybody want to learn any self-defense, I will look at Bruce Lee and learn something.
Looking right now as we speak with Leonard Hanna and Matt Bonkowski here, Milton High School grads, as they both were part of we're talking about Inside the Ring, MMA, boxing, and some of the things going on. All right, we got a couple big games coming up. College football, we're less than a month away. Actually got that Hall of Fame game that sometimes gets canceled because of like a Tim McGraw concert. It's coming up Thursday, 7 p.m. on NBC. We got football. Atlanta Falcons, one of the best teams in a Super Bowl ever for 3 quarters. I like to joke with people. I'm a Patriot fan. But at the same time, you got Denver Broncos. We got the NFL college football season. We obviously cover teams. Alabama, a lot of Roll Tiders out there. Yeah, you're going to get a few Roll Tides out there. We get some Roll Tides. You got to get some out there. Every time I say it, I lose dinner from my LSU wife. But you got to get that in there. LSU, you got Auburn, Florida, and Florida State. Got some. Those are the main teams, and obviously what UWF has brought to the table. We're excited about it. I mean, the Argos, and we cover the Argos. Pretty excited. What teams this year are you looking at? Is there any team that in the NFL or college football that you think is going to scare and shock some people this year?
The Browns and the Vikings.
Browns and the Vikings?
I think the Browns and the Vikings, when they got the receiver over there, to help out Baker. Baker has improved.
Yep.
Everybody didn't think Baker was going to even get a chance to even start. But I've been riding with him since he got drafted. I said, man, hey, Baker is going to be something. He's very special. He's a big Tebow guy, and he's very athletic. And y'all have seen he has improved, and I think with him and Chubb and Odell, oh my God, I think there might be some trouble there.
Yeah, with Njoku, Landry, that team's loaded.
Defense,
and remember, they got, and even though he had his off the field problems, they got Kareem Hunt for nothing pretty much. And this guy was a Pro Bowler with Kansas City, so they've got that whole offense is loaded. The difference though is the mindset of, I always ask people, name one person on their defense right now. And what I mean by that, in order to be a champion, you got to have, but you have to have both. Look, Green Bay has been the epitome of that for about 10 years. You can name everybody on the offense, but who's on their defense? An old B.J. Raji and Clay Matthews. If you look right now at that team, this is a squad that they're good and their defense isn't horrible, but they're not ready to be a champion yet. And some people are equating. I agree with your comments. I think they're going to be improved to they could be a 10-6, 11-5 squad even. But I think when Odell was saying about ready to go to the Super Bowl, let's back up the saddles a little on that one. I think it's a couple years away. Minnesota's got to, if you combine both rosters with Minnesota's defense, now you're talking Super Bowl right there. Matt, any team? Are you?
I'm gonna go over the fence with it. I'm a diehard Detroit Lions fan. We suck.
Well, I'm
rooting for Detroit.
You're truthful, at least.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The coaching has everything to do with it, man. I mean,
you got the homeless caddy from Happy Gilmore as your head coach. I mean, come on.
A good team, and then just all of a sudden, boom, they just traded everybody. I was like, oh my God, go Saints.
Well, we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little more with Brent Baird of Lindy Sports. Guys, if you want to stick around, we'll talk to you coming up here. Pensacola Blue Wahoos baseball at 6 o'clock. You're taking a look here at the Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola 94.5 and on Blab TV. Have no clue why I said it like that.
Whether you're ready to kickstart your career or if you're ready for a change in your current career, Georgetown Technical College offers over 20 programs to get you started. They offer program scholarships and financial aid in areas such as business technology, computer networking, cybersecurity, and EMT. Georgetown provides hands-on instruction and industry certifications. They also offer GED preparation classes. To learn about these programs, costs, and schedules, as well as the industry salaries, visit georgetowncollege.edu.
Let's talk about Noah. Last year, he had a fast food delivery job. The hours were garbage. The pay was worse. So he went to My Computer Career. In less than 6 months, Noah started his IT career. Now he's in line for his second promotion. Is your job garbage? Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. You could start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. Classes meet just twice a week. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
The year was 1919. Barbasol shaving cream was invented by a dreamer named Frank Shields. The world's first modern shave cream, Barbasol changed the face of shaving forever. A few billion shaves later, Frank's dream lives on. Behind every face is a dream. Barbasol proudly salutes every fearless, self-assured, wide-eyed dreamer all across America. Celebrating 100 years. Barbasol.
Sports is live and local every Saturday from 11 to 1.
Kawhi, him and his free agency, or him just sitting around waiting to sign with the team, had a lot to do with more than just the Lakers. There were other teams that were tied into this trade as well to determine their next moves. And for the Lakers, they still haven't finalized the Anthony Davis deal.
Sports Call with Jordan Glass and Davis Allen on your radio, on Facebook, and YouTube.
Southern California basketball is going to be where everybody's paying attention to this upcoming season.
At ESPN Pensacola 945. Sports is live and local every Saturday from 11 to 1.
This Toronto Raptor team deserved this championship because they played their butts off in the series.
Sports Call with Jordan Glass and Davis Allen on your radio, on Facebook, and YouTube.
Hey, maybe you played for losing teams growing up. You just maybe don't understand what it's like to be a champion like this. But guess what? Whenever you are the best team in the world, you're going to let everyone know you're the best team in the world.
At ESPN Pensacola 945.
And welcome back. Sports Drive with you right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5 and on Blab TV. Look at this. We got all these some pretty cool boxing gloves on here. You know, Jordan and I are going to have to put these on and do some fun brawling. We both get one. I'll tell you which one to use and then pop. But, yeah, thanks again as Leonard Hanna and Matt Bonkowski, two Milton grads who are in the MMA boxing scene who are joining us. Matt was even talking about a chance at Conor McGregor. Maybe we'll try to hype that one up. It's a decent name to go after, and I think a lot of people would love to see him get fought these days. Joining us now, somebody, he will not be fighting in the ring, but he will be fighting for a spot in on the sidelines, as it is going to be crazy as we're coming up there with Miami and Florida right around the corner, less than a month away. And joining us now, as he does each and every Monday, Brent Baird of College Sports Notebook. Brent, we appreciate your time as always.
Glad to be able to be with you, and yes, we're happy about college football starting fall practice everywhere by the time we talk next Monday, and already at Florida, Miami, Arizona, and Hawaii, so that is quite exciting to say the least. So Gators and Canes of most interest for everybody. So yes, planning on being there should be a lot of fun, but just glad it's getting going.
Brent, looking right now, it is also Shark Week, and you have Jim McElwain that will be watching from his couch, and I hope kindly and not being too disturbed. So. Is that, I mean, you were covering the media.
I imagine so, yes.
Obviously, we joke with that, but I think he took it a little to the heart. I just, and right after, he's made some poor choices overall. But let's move on from that. Georgia and Florida will be playing, and it looks like right there in your hometown, the game has been secured a little bit longer. Talk a little more about what did you think of the actual possibility of the Georgia-Florida game getting moved away from Jacksonville? Because there was discussion this year.
Well, there was, but again, Chad, the thing I will say with that is it's just the fact of this thing got started when Kirby Smart made a kind of a cryptic comment about moving the game. And then the thing that happened was it took on a life of its own because the media just frankly didn't have anything to write about. And because of that, it became the annual discussion of is it going to leave, and if it is, when is it going to leave? So I think we thought that it was a priority, and it is, that the game would remain here and that they would have an extension. So, Chad, it really doesn't surprise me because to Lenny Curry, the mayor, to their benefit, and that they were motivated enough to start the wheels turning and made it a real priority to get this done. So it's traditional. It belongs here. And, Chad, I frankly hope it stays here forever.
I agree with it. I've been to 3 of them and 2 of the best games I can ever remember. I'm telling you, it's always fun when you go out there to the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, and I'm always going to call it that. Looking at Tavian Feaster and the situation with what's going on, he is heading out to South Carolina from Clemson. If you're going to stick it to a team, you might as well do it to Clemson if you are South Carolina. The difference is it's not that easy to stick it to them after they're pretty much dominated you over the last 5 years. Talk about the move from Feaster, because before ATN got there, he was having a pretty solid career putting together for the Tigers.
Yeah, he was, and I know there would be made a lot of this, obviously, there in South Carolina, but at the same time, I mean, they need, Chad, let's be honest, South Carolina needs a lot more than Feaster to be able to go anywhere, frankly. But, I mean, again, in 3 seasons, he combined to rush for 1,300 yards. I mean, look, that is fairly significant in some ways. He was Virginia Tech was also on the meter for him, but and good for him. I mean, he'll get a chance to play, and gosh, you know they will if they can stick it to Clemson a little bit. But again, there's a Grand Canyon between the roster that South Carolina has and the roster that Clemson has. In trading running backs is not going to make that much narrow.
Brent, looking at Alabama and Wisconsin announcing the home and home 2024. Now, for somebody that has no clue what I'm even eating after dinner and just praying that my wife has one of those amazing crock-pot chickens waiting for me again, it is hard for me to comprehend a game that we're not 100% sure is going to feature the coaches and the players and everyone we love, obviously, unless the players get held back. That's not happening. Looking at the game, though, what I love about this is it's a home and home against 2 teams that have such great tradition. They have such great fans. They're polar opposites when it comes to the weather. And now we get a chance to get that Big Ten, that SEC feel in their own backyards. I love this, and we were just talking about this. If we had to pick between a neutral site game between 2 great teams or home and homes, I would much rather see these games and get a chance to watch great teams play in their own backyard with their great fan base in different types of weather environments. This, to me, is what it's all about. 2024, Alabama, Wisconsin will start a home and home.
I think on the surface, it's a plus anytime that you can play another Power 5 team. Now, look, this will mean a lot more to the people at Camp Randall than it will in Tuscaloosa.
Oh, for sure.
To be honest with you, this will be a huge deal at Wisconsin. Now, how much has it moved the meter? I don't know, but anytime that you can upgrade your schedule, I think it's worthwhile. Now, let's also be honest. I would have loved to seen Ohio State or Michigan play Alabama, but I'm not sure that's in the cards, frankly, anytime soon. But your reality here too is it should be fun to be able to see that. And Chad, I'm telling you, would it surprise you at all if Saban's still there and sees both the games in this series? So look, I've got a lot more confidence that Saban's going to beat Alabama more than I will Paul Chryst in Wisconsin. I think Chryst is a pretty good football coach.
Yeah, I mean, he's found a way to keep himself in pretty good shape on those little Debs, and I'm telling you, there's no reason. I mean, Trevor Lawrence eventually has to graduate, and then nobody will stand Alabama's way, right? Look, you're exactly right, though, Brent, how much it means to Wisconsin. But I'm thinking of, usually it's the SEC that is looking to say, okay, even if we get this team, how big of a deal is it? But if you look at a team like Wisconsin, it means a ton. But you can say the same for when Texas A&M got to host Clemson the other year. And now Texas A&M has to go to Clemson. But remember, when Clemson and Texas A&M battled last year, it was huge for A&M. To get a chance to take on one of the best, if not the best team, which we eventually found out is in the country. Anytime a team is going to get a chance at Alabama, LSU, even a Florida, a team like that, or if Florida got to invite a Penn State, think about that. If Florida got to invite a Penn State or an Ohio State to the Swamp, and think about the same thing if you had a situation where a school like LSU got to play at Michigan, the big house rocking, and then Michigan had to go to LSU. Man, these games to me, though, this is the epitome of all the arguments, all the stuff we talk about. Like, even though right now Alabama would be about a 22-point favorite, 23-point favorite over Wisconsin, and they're a better football team, this idea and concept is exactly the path that I would love to see college football go down, because there is nothing better. And I guarantee tomorrow, if Auburn or LSU or Florida or even Florida State, if Florida State had a game tomorrow where they got a school like what we're seeing with Georgia Notre Dame, but you get Florida State to have a school like Ohio State coming down there, it would be sold out and nobody would be moving for weeks. Now, we're talking about the good Florida State version. But, man, I love what this might – I hope more teams go down this path, even though this game might not be the most competitive if it was played today.
Well, the thing that we don't know about this game that makes it also a little bit intriguing as it gets closer is how different will Wisconsin be by the time this game is played. I mean, the point of that is we are looking at that your typical Big Ten ground and pound type team with Wisconsin right now, that the feature is not the quarterback, or Hornibrook would still be there instead of at Florida State. But it's the tailback that's the feature. Now, what we don't know is by the time they play Alabama, I mean, I'm not saying they'll be running the spread, but that could be totally different at that point too. So, but I agree with the premise. I just wish we had a lot more of these. Anytime you get a Big Ten, SEC, I think it means something along the line. So it was refreshing to be able to see it.
It's a whole different feel, Brent. I feel like if LSU was playing Texas tomorrow in the New Orleans, which they are this year, but if LSU was playing Texas in a neutral site game, it's a venue. It feels like a bowl game. If LSU had to go to Texas or Texas had to go to Baton Rouge, I think people would be lined up differently and looking at it differently. And I hope that we go down this path, because to me that's such a big part of it. And Florida, and to go back to Florida, Georgia, that's a unique venue because both those teams are so close. They play each other every single year. They're in their own backyard. So that's a game where you get the two fan bases together, and that's a traditional type of game. That's different. So I know that sort of reverts against what I was saying, but that to me is different than the other games. I'm excited about this, and I hope they continue to go down this path.
Well, here's why they're going to. The ADs are looking for games to play like this because the fans are demanding it. Chad, that's a thing that for those of us who want to see more of this, that's why. It is because and look, Nick Saban said it at SEC Media Days. He said people are coming out to watch Western Carolina, but they want to see a good home-and-home game. And if you want to sell tickets, these ADs are going to be forced to be able to do this. So I think that's why it's going to continue.
Brent, five-star linebacker Ayabi Anoma is deciding to transfer. He entered the transfer portal as a true freshman, played 9 games for the Tide from Baltimore, was the number 1 linebacker. Obviously, you've covered him. Went back in the 2018 class. Where do you think at this point he has the best chance of going? Is it Maryland? I've seen some reports of schools like West Virginia, but overall, what was the ultimate decision? Because I know he tried to do this back in February.
He did. You've got a lot of complicated situations here. I think you've got some family issues. He thinks he should start instead of taking his turn. I think you've got a very talented linebacker that Alabama's trying to help, and they've got all the resources in the world. I think there are also some handlers involved in this who are close to Mike Loxley, the new Maryland coach. So, and obviously he's from Baltimore. Now, frankly, I think he's making a big mistake because if he stayed at Alabama, look, no one knew who Quentin Williams was either before he was drafted this year and had the season that he did. And Noble, I think, would have probably done something similar to Alabama, and frankly would have been a star, Chad, if that continued. So the unfortunate thing for him is I think he's listening to the wrong people, but now he still has until August 28th in order to be at Alabama. Hopefully he would stay in shape during that time, but at this point, it certainly looks like that he won't be back.
Well, Brent, you definitely get more multicolored jerseys at Maryland, so they got him beat right there. Overall, that's a win for them. I can't think of any others. Hey, Brent, always appreciate the time. I wish we could do this all day, and looking forward to doing it as we inch closer to that big game coming up here on August 24th.
Can't wait, brother. Take care, okay?
All right, you too, Brent. Appreciate it. Brent Baird, College Sports Notebook, joining us from Jacksonville. You can catch him on First Coast News. Also, the Florida Gator podcast show has been covering college football in the South. One of the lead writers for Lindy Sports over the last 30 years, and has been a good friend as well. Coming back, we're going to talk some more on Freddie Kitchens, Alabama, Wisconsin, getting set to roll tide it on 2024 right here on the Sports Drive.
Slappy! Dude, where have you been?
Dude, I've been a lot of places, most of them with Zach. I've not been thriving. I've been missing it, kid. A lot of drinking in the day.
I don't drink that much anymore. I don't drink any less.
He still got it! Just so you know, when you get bald, sort of the wheels fall off the bus.
Speaking of your mom.
There's a reason they're not on the radio anymore. SVP and Russillo, the podcast. Listen and subscribe on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Here are the ESPN Pensacola 945 contest rules. You can win one prize per household per contest in any 30-day period, unless specified by individual contest rules. All prizes on ESPN Pensacola 945 are non-transferable, non-redeemable in cash, nor exchangeable for any other prize. ESPN Pensacola 945 prizes must be redeemed within a 30-day period of winning, and you must be 18 years of age or older to win. For a complete list of rules, visit ESPNpensacola.com.
Coach K brings football to life year-round. The teams, the players, and the front office.
Well, we're very appreciative to Dabo Swinney, the head coach of the national champion Clemson Tigers, to take the time to be with us.
Talk football with Coach K every day at noon on your radio.
He does possess the skills necessary to play and be successful in the National Football League or anywhere else.
And Coach K live on Facebook and YouTube at ESPN Pensacola 945.
If you're a small business owner, there's no better place to find the impact hire to help your business than LinkedIn. LinkedIn Jobs takes the time to learn more about who you're looking for and then recommends qualified candidates from their community of engaged and career-minded people, candidates who you likely won't be able to reach anywhere else. The truth is, over 70% of the U.S. workforce is on LinkedIn, and posting your job on LinkedIn gives you the best chance of finding and starting a conversation with your next star recruit. It's no surprise a new hire is made every 8 seconds using LinkedIn. So build your winning team by posting a job on LinkedIn and visit linkedin.com/sports to get $50 off your first job post. That's linkedin.com/sports for $50 off your first job post. LinkedIn.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
Bands on the beach. Every Tuesday night, the sugar white sands of Pensacola Beach turn into your personal dance floor with cool grooves and hot tunes. So grab a towel, grab a chair, grab a cooler, and skip the Netflix binge watching and live a little. Bands on the Beach, brought to you by the Santa Rosa Island Authority.
Tyler Mack will rock Bands on the Beach. It's a blend of bluesy rock and his debut album, Already Home, nominated for a Jimmy Award.
Every Tuesday night at Bands on the Beach.
And welcome back. Sports Drive with you right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5 and on Blab TV. Thanks again to Brent Baird, College Sports Notebook, for joining us here, having some fun, and joining us back in talking some UFC, some boxing, and some more. Matt Bonkowski and Leonard Hanna, Milton High School grads, and getting into the boxing and MMA scene. Guys, you know what? There's so much technique and training that goes into becoming a great fighter and into the tips that a lot of these athletes are using today in football.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Mindset's everything. I think Lawrence Taylor said it best in Little Giants, 87% mental. The rest is going to be physical on your defense. He was a hell of a linebacker, I know. I mean, me, I'm just go for it kind of guy. I just like to call out Connor personally and tell him if he wants to set up that charity fight. I know he was talking about July, this and that. He replies on Instagram all the time.
There you go.
But he ain't never said my name or nothing. I go by the handle Superman. So if I don't know if he interested in it, all I can say is get with it.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you look at some of those, a lot of these fights, and Leonard, a lot of these guys today, the training and stuff, you see that transition of a guy like a Brock Lesnar or some of these guys that tried. And it goes to show you also how good of athletes these football players are.
Oh, yeah.
Because
absolutely.
These guys a lot of times can't break it into fighting. I mean, can't break it into football that were fighters at a top level, which shows you how tough it is to play at that NFL level.
Who was that a couple years back? Was that McNabb? McNabb had his mom making the commercials with the can. Was it a beef stew can?
Yeah, I've seen the commercials. I know what you're talking about.
So,
the chunky commercials. I like that was Donovan McNabb used to do those. I remember that one.
Yeah,
There's a bunch of them though. Oh yeah.
So maybe, you know what I'm saying, the athletes are still taking on moms, you know what I'm saying, ingredients, you know what I mean, getting all big and strong.
Not 100% sure that was his mom. It might have been a paid actor. It looked like Medea a little bit. I don't know, but I'm trying to think of that person. Who was that? Yeah, there was a whole thing of those chunky commercials, but I know exactly what you're talking about there. The difference, though, with a lot of the fighting and the kids today, do you feel like there's enough? And Matt, I know that you've done some street fighting, you've done some fighting at the top level. When you look at it, do you feel like today that the kids are getting taught the right way? Because it's not about just fighting. It's not about two kids brawling on the street.
No,
it's about discipline and doing it the right way. Do you feel that we have the right resources and people around this area?
Definitely. You got Gracie. You got you got a lot of camps. You got some of the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys over in Milton. You got Cody Phillips. He's epic, you know what I'm saying? He's a pinnacle of our society, done a lot of stuff for the community. I know the Gracie's humility, honor, and respect, different stuff. They do a lot with the kids, especially, and believe in community. That's why I believe in a lot of what Gracie's do,
yes.
You know? There's other people like Roy and his dad, what they did over in Pensacola. Roy's been huge in the community.
Head, man.
Huge.
You think of Jerome Bettis, by the way?
Who that? Bettis?
Jerome Bettis?
Bettis is bad.
I think that was he was on one of those chunky commercials with it. We're getting off that. Just popped into my head. I just ran it with
I just got a Bettis jersey up in Pittsburgh, man. That's funny you said that.
So Leonard, you're representing the Vikings over here. Is that your team?
Yeah, man. Vikings and the Raiders.
Did you lay low 2 years ago when they made that catch against the Saints?
Man, I don't think I came out my room.
I was going to say, you just wait a few weeks and stay quiet. I was at the, now, it was an annoying movie, and I had to sit through it, but that Bird Box movie thing, it looked like that. If you knew what it is, you know, where people go crazy and they start smashing their head. After the Saints lost this year to the worst call in the history against the Rams, we were at a venue down at Beef O'Brady's, and I saw about 3 or 4 people like, no, just like crushing their head against the wall. I thought we were going to have a full-out mutiny on our hands. It was, man, the insanity of what happened this year in the college football, I mean the NFL playoffs. I hope we never have to go down that path. But do you feel like the NFL should be able to step in and replay things after what we saw this year?
You know, the Patriots.
No call on that.
You know, the Patriots is going to be the Patriots, man. And you can't take nothing from
I like where this is going.
Each year, they changed the offense line. Well, I say about 10 years ago, 10, 12 years ago, they always talking about they had their offense line. Steelers had their offense line. Detroit had their line. Green Bay got their line. And what happened to Jacksonville? Why do they don't have a great offensive line to help them out? So it has changed a lot, for Brady done, and I think that's what's so great about the Patriots because they have changed.
Yes.
Every single body on the roster.
Guys, we got to head out to the Blue Wahoos, but Leonard, Matt, appreciate it, guys. Hey, looking forward to it right there, Bubba. Hey, thanks, guys, for listening. We appreciate it.
Baby. Check me out.
We'll talk some more with Leonard and Matt coming up here this week. Guys, appreciate it.
This is Pensacola's hometown all-sports station and home of the Blue Wahoos, ESPN Pensacola 945. Catch all the Wahoos games home and away all season, plus all the latest Wahoos news from Chad Brilliante on the Sports Drive, 5 till game time weeknights. And hey, if your business would like to partner with us as an advertiser or with a local sports promotion, then give us a call at 850-262-6000 or shoot us an email from the advertise page on ESPNpensacola.com.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Kevin Winter. Those of you who have been clamoring for Alabama's football team to stop playing neutral site games and start scheduling home-and-home series with schools, you're beginning to get your wish. And yes, you're out there. We hear you and see you on social media. Today, Alabama announced a home-and-home with Wisconsin. Starts in 2024 at Camp Randall, 2025. It'll be played the following year at Tuscaloosa. Think about this. In the last 15 years, Alabama football has played only 2 true non-conference road games. 2011 at Penn State, 2010 at Duke. Now the tide of scheduled road games at Texas, USF, West Virginia, Notre Dame, Wisconsin, and Oklahoma at various points from now until the year 2032. Not even one full week in the training camps for most teams, and today the Dolphins fire their offensive line coach, Pat Flaherty. The Dolphins, under new head coach Brian Flores, fire an offensive line coach without even having a preseason game. Just practices. The Dolphins promote Dave DeGuglielmo, or Googs as he shall be known from henceforth going forward, to the position of offensive line coach. Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, Major League Baseball's trade deadline will come and go. The only trade deadline this year. Yesterday, the New York Mets shocked everyone with the acquisition of Marcus Stroman. They're 5 games under 500.